Imagine yourself as a teacher, walking into your classroom early in the morning, well before first period. You set your things down, take a stretch, sip your coffee, and begin preparing for the lesson for the day. What if, however, when you came into your room, things weren't how you left them? Leftover, abandoned, uneaten snacks were in the back. Desks and chairs were strewn about. And, most irritatingly, all 4 of your dry erase markers, a teacher's life force, had gone missing. Well, I don't have to imagine this because as a teacher at Global Tech Prep, a school that partnered with Citizen Schools, I faced these atrocities. At first, I was suspect of the Citizen Schools program. Expanded learning time was a foreign concept to me. I had heard about it in theory, but had not observed it in practice. So many questions hung in the air, questions only a teacher would have. Who's going to manage this? How can you force kids to stay past the regular school day? How can you keep students focused when they just sat through 7 hours of school? I kept these initial reservations to myself, but after a month in, I began to see the damage the program had on my classroom. I became convinced Citizen Schools has to go. I didn't know how, and I knew it would take some serious lobbying of the principal on my part, but I could see it was an ineffective program that was ruining our school culture. Those first few months in our partnership with Citizen Schools were rough, to say the least, and I was far from the only teacher who thought so. While we did our best to welcome the CS teachers to the global tech community, we could see the daily struggles these teachers face with our students and how these struggles affected the school climate. However, a few classroom teachers really believed in the program and worked to turn the tide of resentment. Along with the principal, they believed in the vision of expanded learning time and how it would transform our students into learners capable of taking on experiences and responsibilities beyond a typical classroom setting. I'm a member of the See It to Believe It camp, and it wasn't until I saw the results of the first WOW that I began to share that vision and understand the purpose of CS. A student of mine, Kamarthi, partnered with NBC's iVillage program to create a mini documentary on a topic pertaining to middle school life. His presentation and public speaking skills as he fielded questions from an audience of adults floored me. Kamarthi is a sweet kid, but struggles academically. Yet here he was, showing command and fluency in front of an audience of professionals that would intimidate me. This experience opened my eyes to what CS can do, especially for students who may not typically feel successful in more traditional classroom experiences. I still complain to the powers that be about my missing dry erase markers, but over time, my protests became less vocal and eventually non-existent. The program wasn't ruining our school culture after all. Instead, it was taking it to the next level by providing exceptional supports and opportunities for kids who need it most. I began my own crusade to make sure that our school worked out the kinks of our partnership with Citizen Schools. After 3 full years of partnering with CS, I now see the profound long-term effect the program has had on our students. This past May, I was invited to attend the CS end-of-year gala at Lincoln Center in New York City, and I arrived to the event when it was in full swing. I picked up my name tag and began circulating the crowd among the trays of hors d'oeuvres and drinks. Then I saw someone familiar, yet disorienting because of the context. A former student of mine, Kaio, was dressed in a button-down shirt with a matching vest, holding an orange juice spritzer in a wine glass, it's true, and schmoozing with some well-dressed, professional-looking folks. He looked like he was completely comfortable and at ease in this crowd of businessmen and women, which is much more than I could say for myself. When he saw me, it's so funny, when he saw me, he greeted me and he said, "Well, hello, Mr. Baiz, welcome." I politely engaged him in conversation, but inside my mind was blown. Though he was only a high school student, I could see his ambition, intelligence, and savvy, all of which were directly influenced by Citizen Schools. At that moment, all the hard work, late nights, planning meetings, and classroom cleanups made sense. If in the end we can transform a formerly apathetic and defiant student like Caio, an immigrant from Brazil who came to our school barely speaking English, then all of our efforts into making our partnership with CS work was worth it. In my own life, I'm undergoing a transformation professionally from classroom teacher to school leader when I take over the principal role in the fall. While this process requires tremendous planning and preparation, I have been working closely with our campus director, Meg Lembo, to ensure that the Citizen Schools program at Global Tech continues to strengthen our school culture. During one family orientation for incoming 6th graders, I invited 3 8th graders to speak about programs at Global Tech. Their focus immediately went to Citizen Schools, and they enthusiastically described in detail the apprenticeships, clubs, and academic support they received in the program. It's moments like this that inspire me to work even harder in making sure my school's partnership with CS remains strong and pushes students to see the wealth of opportunities available to them inside and outside the school community. Thank you.